Trump has offered the best deal for Ukraine, and Zelensky still said no. I honestly don't know what Zelensky wants at this point. Trump has offered a peace deal that is undeniably the best deal for Ukraine we've seen. This is an amazing deal for Ukraine that actually sees Russia withdraw from two regions completely. Russia would have withdrawn from Kherson, they would have withdrawn from Zaporizhia, and in exchange of giving Ukraine two whole regions, Russia was just asking for 20% of Donetsk. Russia already holds 80% of Donetsk, and after they win at Pokrovsk, the battle they've already won pretty much, Russia's going to steamroll the rest of the region, and then they're going to take those other regions, even though it might take, a few more months? Oh, wow, whatever. And as Zelensky's facing this massive corruption scandal of $100 million, two people in his own government have resigned today, it's just looking worse and worse, and this guy is in Turkey talking to Erdogan about peace, about some deal he wants Erdogan to create. It's an absolute delusion at this point. This deal was perfect for Ukraine. Zelensky would have had to hold an election. He would have had to unban the Russian language and unban the Orthodox Church. These apparently were things that Ukraine said was too far. Let me get this straight for Ukraine. Religious freedom is too far. Personal freedom is too far for speaking the language. And democracy, elections are too far. After a major corruption scandal, Zelensky says that holding elections right now, as his approval rating is the lowest it's ever been, is a little too far. He wants to let the corruption scandal die down. The corruption that's seeing ministers resign left and right, $100 million, and his business partner fleeing to Israel, out of all places. He would not win an election if it was held today. He would not win an election if it was held in 6 months, okay, guys? This guy is going to push this as far as he can, whether it's another year, another 2 years. He's willing to let Russia take half of Ukraine, which Russia would be fine negotiating peace then, 100%. What he wants to happen, here's the plan. Zelensky's going to let this drag on for 2 to 3 more years. He's going to let everyone forget about this corruption if they don't find any more. Russia's going to push into Ukraine. Ukraine is Russia. He's going to let Putin push into Ukraine, to Kharkiv, to Sumy, maybe even Odessa. We could see an entire wraparound of Ukraine. And then Zelensky's going to go, we're ready to negotiate. And all that's going to happen, mark this, is Russia's going to simply withdraw back to the 4 regions. A victory for Russia is Donetsk, Lugansk, the Donbass, which holds some of the most wealthy, some of the biggest rare earth mineral deposits in the world. There are trillions of dollars in the Donbass that Ukraine simply could not harvest because Ukraine didn't have the capabilities. And that's why Ukraine, since 2014, has been fighting people there, trying to kill all the ethnic Russians so that they never had to worry about this. That's why the 2 biggest investors in Ukraine, real fact, by the way, is JP Morgan, the biggest bank, and BlackRock. Really? How much more corrupt could you get? And now as Trump and Putin give out an offer that's like an olive branch, it's like a proposal of peace. Look, Russia's going to keep the 2 regions, one which they're already fully occupied. They're going to withdraw from Kharkiv, they're going to withdraw from Sumy, and they're going to withdraw from these 2 other regions. Now, Russia did come back and say, well, we might withdraw half of Zaporizhia and Kherson so they can connect the land bridge to Crimea, because at the end of the day, Russia's probably wanting to connect that to Crimea to have that bridge and to have Mariupol and all of that stuff and some of Zaporizhia. But at the same time, if you're Ukraine, man, you have to at least have a ceasefire. Russia advances daily. They've broken through in the south. And Zelensky's losing support weekly, daily, hourly. He's having ministers resign. He's having people flee the country. His army is seeing desertion levels triple year after year. They're losing so many men simply from fleeing the country. Hungary and Romania are having a migrant crisis, an immigration crisis of Ukrainians leaving. And Zelensky instead is wanting to negotiate war. Instead of negotiating peace, instead of even having a Christmas or an Easter ceasefire, which he's rejected every time, Zelensky instead wants to continue to fight. What can you gain from fighting, Zelensky? What can you gain? You're losing, you will lose. The longer Ukraine tries to fight, the more land Russia is going to obtain. What are you gaining? You cannot win. You are propped up by everyone. You have lost the war. And the longer you go, you might not have a country anymore. As Trump said, you have no cards. Ukraine's biggest victory of the past 3 years was a drone attack on some of Russia's air bases. Shocker, Ukraine doesn't have an air base anymore. Ukraine, you ever notice in this war, there's no jet fights, there's no dog fights, there's no jets in the sky fighting? Because Ukraine doesn't have an air force. Ukraine doesn't have a navy. Ukraine doesn't have nukes. Ukraine doesn't have Marines anymore. They have a special forces that doubles as Zelensky's secret service. It's like the SS battalion. Thank you for watching. Make sure to comment and subscribe.